This is WLOX, News Now at 6. Your news starts right now.
South Mississippians speaking out in the fight over the state flag.
I feel it does put a divide in my community.
To some, it means slavery and segregation. But for others, the banner isn't about hate.
But it's our history. There's people that died fighting for this flag.
Biloxi leaders divided on the flying of the flag at city buildings.
This is America. Put it to a vote.
Our team coverage of this Confederate controversy starts now. Biloxi City Council divided today. One councilman promising to present an ordinance next month to put the state flag back at city buildings. It comes just one day after Mayor Fofo Gilich ordered its removal, citing the city's diversity. Victor Williams was at that meeting this afternoon, and he tells us how South Mississippians are reacting to the city's move to furl the flag.
Yes, Christina, the tension was so thick in that meeting that you could almost cut it with a knife. And that's how angry people were today after Mayor Fofo Gilich made an executive decision to not fly the controversial state flag in front of city buildings. Now, both people who agreed with the mayor's decision, as well as people who did not, took a stand for what they believed was right. It was somewhat controlled chaos at City Hall this afternoon. People angry about the state flag being removed from city facilities.
If this flag is a racial issue, let's bring that up. Don't come up here under the excuse that it's an economic impact to our state.
At the same time, there were just as many people who agreed to back the mayor's decision, calling the flag offensive.
As soon as you see it, it's nothing. People instantly see negativity. People are angry and irate. And when people say, oh, it doesn't stand for something negative, then what does it stand for? Because to the people of my community, it stands for oppression and slavery.
Council members themselves seem torn about the executive order made by the mayor, some agreeing with the mayor while others say the vote back in 2001 regarding whether the state flag should fly was the final decision.
If the people voted for a flag, then the elected officials would respect that vote and fly the flag the people chose.
The reason I support the mayor's action is because I think it's best for the city. Not the best for me, not the best for the mayor, not the best for the council, but best for the city of Biloxi in the long run.
For Mayor Gilich, he's just hoping to move the city forward.
I made my executive decision based on, on my reasons, and there were some points well made today in both sides of the issue. And again, in my heart is only what's best for Biloxi.
Now, we heard from council members today. 4 of them say that they are in favor of keeping the state flag. 2 of them stand behind Mayor Gilich. Councilman George Lawrence has not voiced a stance on the issue just yet.
A little history about the state flag. It's been under fire before. Mississippi's residents voted in 2001 to keep the current flag with the Confederate battle emblem in the corner. In 2015, a church shooting in South Carolina sparked widespread debate about Confederate symbols, prompting a push for change. Many cities took down the banner. Delta State University became the last public university to take down the flag in November of last year. Some cities like Tupelo and Gaucher voted to continue flying the flag. State flag supporters banded together outside Biloxi City Hall just before the council meeting this afternoon. They say they're unhappy with the mayor's choice to take the flag down. Carrie Grace spoke with them during the demonstration. Carrie, what are they telling you?
Well, Christina, that small group of protesters that was gathered out here before the meeting demonstrated peacefully. The message they just really wanted to send across is that they felt the mayor didn't have the right to take the flag down without consulting the people.
I think your governor said we were keeping the flag, so why is the mayor pulling it down?
Only the American flag is waving outside Biloxi City Hall after Mayor Fofo Gilich ordered that the state flag be removed from city buildings, and that decision has sparked outrage.
It is a slap in the face of the taxpayers in Mississippi to take the state funding and refuse to fly the state flag.
One day after Mississippi observed Confederate Heritage Day, a small group of protesters gathered outside Biloxi Biloxi City Hall to show their disapproval with the decision.
I just don't think it's fair for the mayor to go ahead and take it down and not giving the citizens the chance to vote, because I know personally that there's a lot of them that want the flag to stay. They don't want the flag to go.
For now, the flag will stay down, but protesters say it's a decision that doesn't reflect how the majority of Mississippians feel.
But you know what, until a new flag is voted in, this is our state flag and it needs to be flown.
Now, the flag supporter you just heard from, Reardon, did tell me he had a petition going. That petition is for municipalities who do not want to fly the state flag to not receive state funding. And we'll bring you more on this story tonight at 10. For now, reporting in Biloxi, Carrie Grace, WLOX News Now.
This isn't the first step in the fight against Mississippi's state flag. Nearly 24 lawmakers filed bills related to the banner in the latest session. 2 of those calling for a new vote on the flag. 12 Democrats filed legislation calling for a new state flag. And 7 bills filed by Republicans supported the current flag, adding punishment for government entities that refuse to fly it. Speaker of the House, Philip Gunn, a Republican, publicly supported changing the state flag in 2015. None of the bills presented in the past 2 legislative sessions have made it to the governor's desk. Just into the WLX newsroom, Governor Phil Bryant calling a special session to legislators that they can set the state's budget. Lawmakers will return to the Capitol on June 5th to complete the budget for the 2018 fiscal year. The regular 3-month session just ended last month, but legislators did not pass budgets for the Attorney General's office or for the Department of Transportation. Bryant is asking lawmakers to set final pieces of the state budget for the year that begins July 1st.
Now, WLOX First Alert Weather.
Good evening, South Mississippi. It sure has been a gorgeous day. Temperatures currently into the mid and upper 70s, even some areas still hanging in the low 80s, but it's going to continue to be nice tonight. WLOX First Alert radar is dry, and it looks like we should stay dry through the day today. Slight rain chances enter the forecast picture tomorrow, but a beautiful night if you're heading out to catch the Shuckers tonight. Sunset will be at 7:29, and the weather looks great. Game time again, 6:35. It's going to be nice and warm with sunny skies. We'll have a closer look at our forecast details and when we'll see rain coming up.
The Rebel road trip pulled into South Mississippi tonight. Our own Hugh Keaton is live in Pascagoula, where Ole Miss head coach Hugh Freeze is talking football with Coast Rebel fans.
Well, you can hear the words "hotty toddy" echoing through the air here in Pascagoula tonight as the Rebel road trip is in town. Behind me, you see the head coach of the Rebels, Hugh Freeze. He's signing autographs. A long line of people here lined up to meet the coach, and Coach Hugh Freeze is having a conversation with each of those fans. Also, Athletic Director Ross Bjork is also here, and I can tell you that the atmosphere at this Rebel road trip is a little different than in the past few years, as head coach Hugh Freeze is coming off his worst season as head coach of the Rebels, as Ole Miss finished 5-7, and then you also have the NCAA investigation that continues to loom over the Ole Miss football program. But just a few minutes ago, I asked head coach Hugh Freeze and Ross Bjork about that NCAA investigation. They both told me they are confident everything with the NCAA will be wrapped up and the university will be able to move forward late this summer or early fall. Of course, the university has self-imposed a bowl ban for the upcoming season, and the Rebels will have to see how that goes, and it's still up in the air whether or not the NCAA will accept these self-imposed sanctions. NCAA could still add more sanctions on the Rebels football program, but for tonight, it's all smiles for the Rebel football program, as everybody in here is getting a good chance to meet the head coach of the Rebels, Hugh Freeze, and talk a little Rebel football. Never too early to start talking Ole Miss football. Reporting live in Pascagoula, Hugh Keaton, WLOX News Now.
South Mississippi schools touting top honors tonight. According to a new report, 2 coast schools rated in the best high schools in the state. Take a look. Biloxi takes the 2nd spot on the list by U.S. News and World Report. Ocean Springs is the 3rd spot. The survey looks at graduation rates, standardized test performance, and college readiness. Lewisburg High School came in at number 1. That's in DeSoto County. Now to a follow-up of Biloxi City Council approving bonds to pay for waterfront improvements. Leaders are looking to pull in $7.5 million from limited tax port bonds over the next several years. The money would go to 10 projects, including the Biloxi Festival Boardwalk from Rodenberg to Veterans Avenue, filling in gaps in cement boardwalks along Highway 90 and improvements at the Point Cadet Marina. The city will have to ask county supervisors to approve millage that will generate money for the bonds that would pay for those proposed projects. Changes to polling places in one South Mississippi city, new and next tonight. Do you know where to vote? Moss Point leaders want to make sure residents make it to the right precinct.
The news for South Mississippi continues. WLOX News Now at 6. Sponsored in high definition exclusively by Mississippi Gulf Coast Community College. Start with Gulf Coast, finish with confidence.
Moss Point has new voting precincts with municipal primaries right around the corner. One organization wants to make sure residents know where to vote and what's on the ballot. Janelle Fort has the story.
The sample ballot, as you see.
Moss Point's highly contested primary election is quickly approaching, and there's a bit of confusion among citizens about where they go to cast their ballots.
Roughly about 2 months ago, Moss Point actually sent out some reminder cards just to let everyone know that where you would normally actually go and vote for your city elections now has been changed.
But Anna McMillian and the National Independent Black Parent Association feel many may not have gotten the memo or may not remember it. She says in a city with less than 25% voter turnout in the last city elections, she doesn't want any confusion to keep people from the polls.
So we want to make sure that all of the citizens actually have an opportunity to know exactly where they're supposed to go to vote on May 2nd.
McMillian says although all 6 of the precincts have moved, the ward lines remain the same.
Ward 1 and 2 are now to report to Creole Avenue Fire Station. Wards 3 and 4, Sue Ellen Recreation Center.
The more complicated part, residents of wards 5 and 6 north of the river will vote at Pelican Landing, while those who live south of it will cast their ballots at the Young Men's Business Club. The organization is also hosting a candidate forum this weekend where they hope to not only give the public the opportunity to hear from mayoral and alderman candidates, but also let them know exactly what to expect in the voting booth.
You have your alderman at large.
The hope is by breaking things down, they'll have more community involvement in deciding the city's next round of leaders. In Moss Point, Janelle Fort, WLOX News Now.
The candidate forum is this Saturday from 10 to 4 at 2nd Street Park. In Biloxi, for the second time in just under 24 months, Mayor Fofo Gilich is looking to win the mayoral election. In just 1 week, Biloxi voters go to the polls and will choose from either incumbent Gilich or Jess Kennedy in the Republican primary. The winner of the May 2nd primary will move on to face Sugar Stallings in the June 6th general election. You can find more on these candidates with our Election Day previews at WLOX.com. A new school almost ready for students. Progress at this campus construction site. Will it be ready to house classes this fall? But first, tonight.
We are seeing a beautiful evening on tap here in South Mississippi. That WLOX radar showing things are clear. Maybe just a few clouds overnight. I'll let you know when we're expecting our next round of rain coming up after the break. But first, a look at tonight's marine and tidal forecast.
Now, WLOX First Alert Weather with Chief Meteorologist Carrie Duncan.
Good evening, South Mississippi. Temperatures are going to dip only into the mid-60s tonight as we head into the overnight hours. Notice dropping into about 65 degrees along the coast. It will be a little bit cooler in our interior locations, but nowhere near as cool as what we've been seeing the past couple of days. Notice those winds also shifting to a southerly direction. That's going to be bringing in a little bit more moisture, and that's going to start out, of course, in the form of overnight lows rising, and then we're going to start to see more clouds tomorrow. But right now it is sunny and beautiful and 75 degrees. It is sunny and 75. Margaritaville Resort and Tower Camp in Biloxi looking good, and Hancock Bank in Gulfport, a beautiful view of the harbor. We will see the humidity return. 2 storms will be on their way with warmer temperatures also on the rise. Here's a look at that rain chance trend for Saturday. Well, we are going to be expecting to see the rain trend actually going up. Let's go ahead and show you what's happening for the next few days. And for right now, WLOX first alert radar showing that we're really not seeing any rain right now. Again, not seeing rain today, not much expected tomorrow until later in the day. Frontal system will be approaching, but it's not going to be bringing us a temperature swing. It's just going to be bringing us a chance for some needed rainfall. Notice with Futurecast, we see the clouds starting to build into the area tomorrow afternoon around the time school's out, but before your drive home, and then by 8:30, if you're going to be out for some ball games, take your umbrella because you might need them before the evening is over. It doesn't look like we're going to see a deluge, but we are going to be expecting to see rain moving into the area. Should be pretty light as we head into the overnight hours. This is 12:30 on Thursday morning, and then we head through about 3, 4 o'clock in the morning. You can see that line that's forming. That is the frontal system that's going to be moving through. By sunrise, we should start to see most of the showers exiting the area. However, parts of George, Jackson, and maybe Harrison County still seeing an isolated shower or two. But by 9 o'clock, the rain should be out of the area, so maybe a little bit damp on that morning commute Thursday, and then clearing out, and Thursday afternoon looks very nice. IP Casino Resort and Spa, Tower Cam in Biloxi, a beautiful view, not a cloud in the sky looking north, and Mississippi Power Tower Cam atop Beau Rivage again, shining that light on MGM Park. Sunset tonight at 7:29. Temperatures currently in the low to mid 70s. Our highs today, mid to upper 70s, right at 80 degrees for Singing River Federal Credit Union in Lucedale. Our lows this morning in the 50s for the most part. A little bit cooler, though, up at MGCCC in Perkinston at 48 degrees. Here's a look at overnight lows. Notice we do see them on the rise. We will see a 50% chance of showers on your Thursday. Again, that's in the morning hours. And then a 20% chance stays with us on Friday and Saturday. A 70% chance coming in on Sunday. It does look like it should be Sunday later in the evening hours, and then some lingering showers into Monday. But we could be seeing a pretty significant bump in rain, and we need it. We've been dry, but we might be getting a little bit more than we bargained for. We'll be, of course, keeping an eye on that, and I'll have an update on 10.
When it rains, it pours, Carrie.
That's right.
A special gift for volunteers. Make-A-Wish paid in full.
Tonight at 6:30.
Accounting problems at the State Department of Education. Employees fired. Why after-school programs are feeling the most impact.
Tonight at 6:30 on WLOX News Now.
The new $34 million Biloxi Junior High on Jam Lane is slated to be ready by this fall. Chief Financial Officer Shane Switzer with Biloxi Public Schools says 130 employees are currently working on the project. He also says the necessity for the new school is due to high enrollment levels over the past 5 to 6 years, and the new school can accommodate up to 1,200 students.
The biggest thing is we think the project's on schedule. We think the timeline, we're going to make it from an aspect of not only getting the building complete, but also getting the building furnished, and with all the help from my maintenance department, getting all the teachers moved in before school starts.
The new Biloxi Junior High will feature a media center and a fine arts wing, along with competition cheer mats and a mirrored dance studio. Volunteers from across South Mississippi got the recognition they deserve this morning in Biloxi. Make-A-Wish Mississippi held its annual appreciation breakfast at the IP Casino Resort. The IP presented the foundation with a $12,000 check. The volunteers represented were being thanked for their hard work helping make wishes come true for boys and girls with life-threatening illnesses.
Well, when you can take into consideration the number of hours that these people are putting in, whether they're helping us with a special event or helping with wish granting, to be able to say you're important to us, I think everybody needs to know that, and they are so important to us that we want to let them know.
105 wishes were granted in our state last year. 40 of those were in South Mississippi. In fact, one was granted this month for a young girl named Elise. Federal funds under scrutiny in Mississippi schools. Education officials working to fix problems found in an audit.
Tonight at 10.
As Biloxi prepares to welcome a new bishop, we'll sit down with Archbishop Thomas Rody of Mobile, who led the Catholic Diocese of Biloxi for 7 years, including during the recovery from Hurricane Katrina.
Tonight at 10.
Funding for Mississippi schools under the microscope. New and next tonight on WLX News Now at 6:30. An audit showing discrepancies in how education officials track the money. Flip over to CBS to find out how the Department of Education is working to move forward. And Carrie, you know, today it's feeling great, but later on in the week we're seeing some changes.
That's right. Even as early as tomorrow, we're going to see more humidity moving back into the area, but tonight is going to be fantastic. Satellite and radar imagery really tells a good story. There's just nothing on it. We're going to be mostly clear. It's going to be a beautiful and mild night. Nice, maybe a little cool to some folks in the mid-60s, but not as cool as what we've been seeing over the past couple of days. We'll see an increase in temperatures and humidity and rain chances over the week.
I'll have my umbrella handy, and that is it for the news at 6.